This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim pass the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. Tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family was popping. It's your boy. Oh no, it's not. It's not your boy. It is Ron and Eru. That's right. You see it. Still Knicks fans and diehard Eru Knicks in the building. Yeah, we here. We here.
You was fiending for that, man.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to say that. Knicks family was happening. It's your. I've been dying to say that forever. Anyway, what's going on, Eru? And listen, so we are here today. Filling in for the great one, Simeon Russell. He's out there on the gobble circuit right now, having some fun, enjoying life. We here to talk about these Knicks, baby. But I'm here. I'm the co-chair. All right. This is Eru's show. Like he's running the show, so I'm just rocking.
Well, me, I'm kind of spent because I do a full game watch along, man. So that watch along was crazy. The first half was excellent. Good basketball. I like the way the Miami Heat plays us. We don't play with any kind of like animosity or stuff like that. Guys really are just getting after it. Gentleman's game. I said that a few times. But that third quarter, man, oh my God, I don't know what it is when the Knicks go to halftime. We come out of that halftime show as if it's like we never played with each other anymore. So a couple of people in my chat were complaining that listen, man, we played too much street ball. It's like we're just playing street ball all the time, man. But how long was it? Like 6 minutes without scoring in that third quarter?
It was horrible. I mean, I think it was about 6 minutes. It was ridiculous. I mean, for our first points to be the second of a Mitchell Robinson free throw situation is that's a bad sign.
Yeah, man. 19-0 run the Miami Heat went on to start that third quarter. And it was just an uphill battle, man. The cardiac Knicks is in full effect, man.
You ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying. Listen, I just want to say that I'm just excited and happy that the Knicks actually got this victory because it was going to be a really tough night to do this post game, and it was going to be a rough note to ledge tomorrow. So let's go Knicks, baby.
Yeah, if we lost this game, I would be like, you know what, Sim, I don't feel too good tonight. I kind of want to take some meds or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, man, guys, if you're just tuning in right now, Knicks were down 21 points in this game. That was the biggest lead by the Miami Heat, and they took a convincing lead in the third quarter. They just destroyed us in that third quarter. After us, the Knicks hit a big three by Quickley and Grimes in the corner at the buzzer to go up 51-50, I believe. And then we come back in the third quarter, and we just couldn't buy I wasn't even so upset with the defense, Eru. I was more upset that we couldn't buy a basket. I'm like, we can't even put no points up.
Yeah, that's a major problem. The one thing everybody keeps saying, the Knicks need to get a defensive wing. In my opinion, I thought the Knicks played. I mean, that fourth quarter, could we have played better defense in that fourth quarter? The Knicks do a really good job of getting back on defense, and when it comes to switching, the Knicks are getting back this year. So we're playing excellent defense. What we do need is that we need somebody that can break these 5 minute these stints where we go 3 to 5 minutes without scoring. This is not the first time. This happened a few times this year already. So I think we need to get that extra play. It doesn't have to be a superstar. We just need to get an extra guy with a pulse that can put the ball in the basket, man.
100%, bro. 100%. And the thing is, this game had all the makings of a statement game by Miami. I mean, because once they came out in that third quarter, and it showed, like as you were already bringing up, we've been having a couple of third quarter collapses. You're not too many, but we've had a couple already, and I don't like that trend because you remember 2 years ago, was it 3 years ago? Every third quarter, it was almost like it's either we're going to play close or have the lead, but if we lose in the third quarter, it's game over. So I don't want to go back to that trend. Let's keep that third quarter woes away, man.
Yeah, we were getting cracked. That was a year that we didn't make the playoffs. Everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong that year. So I mean, the Knicks are borderline on that run, but I think right now we're playing so polished. Right now, I feel like guys are communicating. One player I would like to point out, compared to the years that passed, is like RJ. I feel like RJ was a big key, especially in the fourth quarter. Like he in the past he would make moves, but he would just kind of be just making a move just to make a move. But nowadays he's allowing the defense to dictate what he does, and now he has little counter stuff to stop what the defense is doing, and he still could capitalize on their little mistakes or whatever they give to him, man. So he had a couple high arcing layups that came high off the backboard and dropped in. A couple big time plays down the stretch for him, man. So between him, IQ, and Brunson, they really set the table for that win, man. So just some kudos to the Knicks. One thing too, I want to bring up Julius Randle. I like the fact that he was in the game in the fourth quarter, but nobody, like, you would never know that he was in the game because he didn't touch the ball. He kind of was in the corner, and he was doing his job. He was crashing boards. He stayed with his man. He wasn't confused. He wasn't complaining a little bit. He was complaining at the end a little bit, but he wasn't involved in the game towards the end. Making those decisions and stuff. So I think that's key. I think getting that extra player will also keep Julius Randle in that role. Where we can take advantage of Julius in different parts of the game, but when it comes down to like making winning plays, that Julius would not be involved as much if we can get that extra player. I think tonight might have proven that a little bit. What do you think about what you saw in that game there?
Yeah, man, I agree. I mean, and I think just I think this was a good example for Knick fans who have a issue with Julius Randle and how sometimes they think he's a bad teammate or a disruptor. Watching this game, just notice the difference of how he came out and played and struggled with the turnovers, making bad plays and all this stuff, right? We'll get into the fourth quarter, as Iru's saying. He's out there on the court, but notice, you didn't see him pouting. You didn't see him stomping and doing all types of stuff, yelling, making a big scene, none of that stuff. Because once again, as we always say, well, we don't always say it, but we try to say it. A lot of times when you see Julius Randle mad and stuff is happening, he's not mad at his teammates. He's mad at himself because he doesn't have it going. In the fourth, he wasn't even in the game for a lot of it. And then when he came in the game, he wasn't touching the ball like Iru said. So it's not like he was struggling so bad the ball was in and he was making really bad plays in that fourth. In the fourth, they kind of kept the ball away from him because they went with the guys who were getting the Knicks back in the game. And he acquiesced, and he was fine with it. And he didn't make any faces. He was just out there doing what he needed to do. I think that's just a sign that shows you that, when it comes to Julius, he's still a team player. He's a good dude when it comes to that stuff. He just gets down on himself, and sometimes that thing spills over to something bigger. But as far as the game, I mean, first off, I just had to start with what the court was, because I was concerned at first, because I joked about this last week and I kept putting the court up because we were like talking about it. I was a little concerned, especially seeing the warm-ups of watching Quickley shoot shots, and I didn't realize, I joked about it, but when you look at the basketball and the court, they do really look similar. I could see somebody getting a little confused at some point, like, just not seeing where the ball is. But somehow they held it together. They did a good job, man. So that part was not an issue. It was a non-factor. And like, a lot of the guys were saying it would be okay. It would be no problem. So that was good. But yeah, I liked the energy coming out to start the game. I liked what the Knicks were doing. They were trying to, run their sets. It wasn't overly crazy. They weren't doing too much. They weren't gunning and shooting themselves out of the game. They were basically kind of sticking right there with Miami and taking whatever Miami was giving them. Miami was doing the same with the Knicks. So it's like a tale of two halves, man. That first half was just so different from what we saw in the second.
Yeah, definitely. That third quarter too, I got to bring it up to, like, I'll put this here. Randle is a cancer. There was one part where I got really upset, where it was Brunson was doing like a pick and roll. I think Randle came out to do a pick, whatever. He came around on the pick, but Julius was kind of too tight on him. So Brunson had to split Julius and the defender just to get free. But then Julius was actually literally fighting Brunson for the spot, and it ended up ending into like a turnover. You know what I'm saying? So it was those little bonehead plays that we were making, especially during that run, where guys, we just didn't have the proper spacing. So a lot of times, like, guys were too tight up on each other. So there was another play where Julius was trying to get the ball kind of like at the foul line, foul line extended, but Quickley was like arm's length from him, and he still was trying to get the ball to him, and then he tried to, and it was turnover. So same type of play happened on the opposite end too, where they were trying to get the ball to somebody too tight, and then it was an easy steal for the Miami Heat. So the spacing was atrocious, and then I thought during that 19-0 run, Quickley didn't come in until 3 minutes in the freaking third quarter. Ending of the third quarter. So I mean, like, when are you going to make an adjustment? To stop the bleeding. If guys are not rocking for that little period of time, don't let the league get to 19. When do you call a timeout and make some substitutions and maybe just get something out there? Because to myself, the entire game, I was saying the spacing is atrocious. We need to move. We need to space out. Get somebody else in there. Let's try something different. But no, we need to beat the dead horse every single time down the lane there. So, I get where people complain about Tom Thibodeau and they complain about Julius and certain stuff like that. But a lot of things the Knicks bury themselves with the way that they approach the game sometimes. But like you said, from one quarter to one half, we don't know what Knicks team we're gonna get from one point of the game to the next. Thank God this fourth quarter, the Knicks. The Knicks just locked in, unbelievable with that defense, but we was able to score, just enough, to get us over the hump, But shout out to Miami, they were getting their shots, they were running their offense, they had proper spacing. Jimmy Butler kept getting caught in the corner there, for that pull-up jump shots that he normally makes, but because the energy of the game, I just think that he didn't have the momentum. Same thing with Bam Adebayo. They were getting shots that they normally take, but he just didn't have the energy to make them tonight, man. So, yeah, man, it's amazing game tonight. But I mean, if you have heart issues, being a Knicks fan is not the move, man.
You ain't lying, bro. This was a tough one, man, because I just it's such a deflator, and Clyde was saying it, like when they started that third quarter, he was like, this is like such a, like the crowd was on a high. Now they're silent. Like Grimes had just hit the three to go into the half. We were up. It's just, oh man, that third quarter was rough. Yeah. Oh, it was tough.
There's so much, man. Like if he had like bullet points, we could run down all the different things that happened in the game. It would be like longer than the show. It would be up all night with all the different mistakes that Knicks made tonight. Yeah,
no, definitely, man. Well, we take a look at the box score and see what these guys did, because I was so locked into the game, I wasn't even paying attention what different people were doing. I hope that the shooting wasn't as bad as I think it was, because I kind of feel like that third quarter, I don't know, man.
Well, before we get started, look at this Jimmy Butler picture, man. When is he going to change that thing with this?
I don't know how they're still allowing him to keep that up, or why he hasn't said something for them to take it down.
Yeah, man, he looks like the chick that your parents warned you about. You know what I'm saying? But that's Jimmy Butler there. Not
yeah, he looks like he had a cameo in the Hey Ya video with Outkast or something. I don't know. It's crazy.
But before we get to the box score, I just want to do the team comparisons and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, we won by 2, 100-98. Rebounding wise, the Knicks are always dominating teams. Rebounding wise, 54-48. 21-21 is about on brand as far as assists. The Knicks usually lose that battle, but tonight we have one up on them, 21-20. Steals, 11-7. The Knicks usually get more steals than the opposite team, but this is the Miami Heat. They're definitely getting to the lanes and stuff like that. So 11-7. Block shots, Miami had 0, right on brand, because they don't have a shot blocker. The Knicks only had 2. That's also, to me, has been a problem. The Knicks haven't really been blocking shots compared to other teams. Turnovers, right there, that's a key to the game there. The Knicks don't never turn the ball over, man. Right? So they had 18 turnovers. That's enough for 3 games for the Knicks. So that's a big problem there. But we pulled it out. But, holding Miami to 39%, especially in that fourth quarter, we held them down, and we shot 48%. 34% from 3. We definitely was up on them on the 3-point line. They didn't really get too many open shots. Free throws, it is what it is there, 95-66. Clean that up. Definitely got to clean it up. This to me is keys to the game. I always point this out on my show. Points in the paint. Knicks dominated basically 54-40. Second chance points 8-5, which is interesting. Knicks usually win this too. Fast break points. Miami Heat definitely got a leg up on us with that. But in that fourth quarter is when we really stretched this out. I was able to pull out the game here. So those are the basically the team comparisons there. We want to get into some box score stuff, right?
Yes. Wow, man. Well, at least the Knicks are consistent. They're consistent with the, with the rebounding, but the block shots. I've noticed that trend for. I don't know what it is. Like Mitchell Robinson just doesn't block shots the way he used to. It is what it is.
Yeah, he's averaging 1.2. But what's the guy? Tyson Chandler. He won the Defensive Player of the Year, and I think he only had 1.2 blocks either, man. So there's more than one way to play defense. I think Mitchell Robinson is doing his job. I normally get really down on Mitchell Robinson, but I think this year he's finally doing his job rebounding wise and stuff like that. So I could take the bad as long as he's doing his job with the stuff what his job is supposed to be. Then I'm good with it.
Yep.
One thing I just want to look at the shot chart really quick. Look at all the X's on Miami with a 3-point line, man. So the Knicks was really, I don't know what the Knicks did per se, but see around the middle of the court too, we were really defending their mid-range jump shots and their 3-point shots. We did a good job with that. As far as the Knicks, a lot of shots on ball at the rim. Everything else is pretty much even. Shots on the ball, 87 for Miami and 81 for the Knicks. Normally the Knicks put up more shots than the opposite team. That's one thing I just want to say.
That's true.
Yeah, so box score, man. You want to look at Miami or?
Yeah, we can look at Miami real quick. Just curious. Look at that. So 5 people in double figures. Jimmy Butler he lulls you to sleep, man. His games, the way they start off is like, you wouldn't even know he's a star player on the team because the way he plays. But it just keeps going. It's gradual. Just got to keep watching it through the quarters.
He's that annoying guy on the court, man. He's like an older guy. You get him on, you playing, team stuff, and then he just like makes these like silly shots. Next thing you know, he done made 5 in a row. You can't stop him. The rest of the team is clicking and stuff like that.
Yep.
For anybody that picked up a basketball, you played with a Jimmy Butler before.
Yes, you have. Yep. He's that guy. He's a very, very annoying. Yeah, I mean, looking at this, Kyle Lowry. I never understand that, man. This guy had 10 points. He had 8 rebounds. I don't know where those 8 rebounds came from. Very sneaky. Then you had Josh Richardson chipped in 15 and Jamie Jaquez Jr. Oh, Jaquez. No. He was pretty good. I mean, I've seen him, the past couple games, he's been putting some points up. I don't know a lot about him. I don't know. Miami always finds a way to get these guys you don't know too much about. But he's a solid looking player for them. He fits that role that they like to bring in. I feel like, and this goes to the Heat culture, where as Knicks fans, I think we appreciate it. We play Miami 4 times a year. We see them. We know what they are. We've seen them multiple times over the years. That culture is real, man. And they find a way to just bring players in, say, hey, this is what our system is, and this is going to be your role. And let's see how we can maximize your role. I don't know how they do it so well, but they do it well.
I'm telling you, but who the hell is this guy, man?
Cole Swider. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
He played for Syracuse, it says, but I would have noticed him or I would have remembered him playing for Syracuse, man. But he came out there. He didn't really do too much, but he might remind me of Duncan Robinson. He just reminds me of any player that Miami he brings in. Like you just said, they find these guys off the street, straight off the Amtrak or the freaking Greyhound bus, and they just get them right in there, and they all of a sudden these guys become household names and stuff.
Yeah, so they just find a way, bro. Shout out to Craig. He said Butler waits until late third to start turning it up. He conserves his energy to close out games. Yeah, that's a fact. That's why he's playoff Jimmy, because he waits. He coasts through the regular season. When he gets to playoffs, he's a different person.
Yeah, 100%. Coasting is exactly what he does. He has a good job of not wasting energy. Bam Adebayo is the same way. A lot of the times they take 2 dribbles, pass it. They get into their office. They don't do anything until they get to their office. Then they'll do whatever they do, but they never waste moves. So that's just the Heat culture right there. Tom Thibodeau, a little bit more frantic, a little bit more stressed out pace with the Knicks, man. But that's just the Miami Heat way, it seems like.
And speaking of Bam, he was the last one that I wanted to bring up. Bam in his usual annoying good self, 21 points, 12 rebounds. What was that? 2 steals? Maybe, yep, 2 steals. And look, 8 of 16 shooting, and then 5 of 6 from the free throw line. He's just always a solid player. And mind you, this is him coming off of missing the last game due to a hip injury. But I mean, you could never tell. He's just back to being his annoying self, doing his he's a very physical player. There were some moments in the game where he got a little physical with some of the players, whether it be on a rebound or blocking or trying to, defend the shot. Yeah, Bam just does that type of stuff, and he does it well, and he gets away with some stuff still. But it is what it is.
But he plays like a gentleman though. I never really see him get turned up too much as far as verbally, or just bravado wise, pushing guys or doing anything dirty. He just does. Like when he brings the ball up the court, if you back up on him, he'll take you right to the basket. If you stop him, he'll make the proper pass. He'll make the proper screen. In the playoffs, he was making some illegal screens. I remember that though, man. He made a couple dirty screens.
100%.
Yeah, but during the season right now, when the stakes are not as high, the guy he's just a good basketball player, man. He's not a center though. He's really like a power forward, but he's like so smart and doesn't waste movements and stuff like that. So he can get away with that type of stuff.
Yep, 100%. All right, so I guess we could take a look at the Knicks box score and see what they was doing.
Oh, speaking of one guy, I'm not even going to put his stats up. He was 7-6. He was 1 for 6 for 3. But this guy is annoying, man. Kevin Love. Oh my God, the old man Kevin, looking like Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four right now. I can't stand him. He's that old guy. He's that old Dominican guy on the court. That all he could do is like that turnaround jump shot, always pump fake to death. You can't stop him.
Let me tell you something. I was worried about him in the first quarter because I was looking at the way they were playing him and how they were doing little pick and roll and screening for him. And I was watching how the defense was and I was like, are you going to let him shoot or are you going to let him pass? Because I was like, I think letting him pass was going to be a little bit more dangerous. So I was like, let him take the shot. Just play some defense in his face. And they kind of did a good combination of that in the first quarter or so.
Yeah. Yeah, but I can't stand him, man. I'm hating on that guy. He's only 35, man. But these guys, these NBA players, when they get that age, they look like they're 40, not 40. They look like they're 60 years old out there.
Savvy, man. Savvy.
Yeah. Shout out to Savvy D. definitely savvy out there.
Facts.
The Knicks box
okay, so we got RJ Barrett had chipped in 18 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist on 7 of 14 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3, and 3 of 3 from the free throw line. And I gotta say, just throwing that out there because we've seen RJ the past couple games struggle a little bit since he's come back from his injury, and then it started. The rumbling started to happen. Though same old RJ, same inconsistency. I'll take this box score tonight. To me, this is pretty fair. This is pretty consistent. He didn't really have it from 3. But he didn't take a bunch of them. 1 of 5, and let's not forget, one of those threes was huge that he hit. And you like to see him take that because we needed it. You know what I mean? So I can't get on him for that. And 7 of 14 is 50% from the field. I'm okay with that. It's never about, does RJ take too many shots or anything like that. It's about, does RJ take too many shots when they're not going in? But if he can keep it to a certain level, I think it's fine, and I like this type of RJ. He's got to keep doing this if you ask me.
Yeah, high quality shots too. That's I got to point that out because he's been getting shots, but a lot of times he'll be forcing things. This is in the past, but this year I feel like he's matured to enough where he knows what is a quality shot. So kudos to RJ, man, definitely playing really well.
Yeah, you guys see it. I mean, Julius struggled. From the field, I actually thought he was worse. I mean, not that this is good. 41% from the field is not great, but I actually thought it was worse. 5 of 12 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. Once again, I'm not too mad that at least it was only 4 threes he attempted when he didn't really have it. 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Now, when you look at this, you say, hey, this is not too bad. 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and then he finished with 13 points. But the 6 turnovers, they were bad, bro. They were bad.
They were ugly too, man. It was some turnovers that you look at him like, you always gotta you say this the passer's fault. But there's a couple times where guys didn't make the proper cut, they weren't in the right spot, or they were too close. Mitch Robinson seemed like he had butter on his fingers today, but you always gotta say the passer. You have to have that foresight if you don't let that ball go. So Julius was a little bit tight tonight. I don't really know what's going on with him. He's been up and down this season. But as long as he's getting those 7 assists and 8 rebounds and stuff, still contributing to the game in some kind of way, then what can you do?
100%, man. And listen, guys, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you while you're here. If you can stay for a little bit, great. If you got to leave, but on your way in or on your way out, please smash that like button and show your love for NBK, Nothing But Knicks, SKF. diehard Knicks in the building. Please support the channel, all that good stuff. You know, the channel's been demonetized. You know, anything you can do to help support the channel, however you want to do it, definitely appreciate it. You know, Cash App, Nothing But Knicks, or PayPal.me / Nothing But Knicks. Appreciate you guys, man. So this is when we get into one of Eru's more concerning players on the Knicks. I mean, it's up and down. I mean, you know what I mean? But Mitchell Robinson, you know, was 2 of 4 from the field, 1 of 4 from the free throw line. He finished with 7 rebounds, 3 offensive, 2 steals. I gotta tell you, man, the fact that when I look at Mitchell Robinson's numbers and I'm seeing these steals, I'm not. I don't know how to act with that. This is new to me, Eru, seeing these steals. I mean, overall he finished with 5 points, but just want to say before Eru talks about him, I like the fact that he fought. I like the fact that he was still trying to get to his spots and do what he does. It was a little tough for him. He got into early foul trouble. Bam took it to him and he got the benefit of calls. That first call, okay, Mitch fouled him. That second call was a little iffy. So I'm mad that they let that go, but they did. So Mitch had to sit quick, and I think that kind of broke his momentum because usually he stays in the game in the first quarter for most of it, and he can really eat and get his rebounds and really be a factor. But he had to take a seat, and so that kind of slowed down some of his progress. And Miami did a really good job. Bam was doing a fantastic job of boxing Mitchell Robinson out and keeping him away from the ball. There was some points that I even saw, you know, not only Bam doing it against Robinson, he was doing it against Hartenstein. He was boxing out to the point where he wasn't even going for the rebound himself. He was just making sure that the player he's boxing out couldn't get it. So they did a really good job of doing that. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, the Knicks normally do that as well too. You know, we do a good job of sealing guys off that way. At least somebody could get the rebound. So I think that's important too. But you know, against Miami Heat, I think just the style of play. You know, Mitchell Robinson just doesn't play well against them. You know, Bam Adebayo knows how to take him out of the games. And I feel like, you know, especially guys like the Jacquez dude, Jimmy Butler, a lot of the guys, they were attacking Mitchell Robinson. And Mitchell Robinson, a lot of times, was just allowing them to score. He was just throwing his hands up so he won't foul. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a disadvantage there, you know, with Mitchell Robinson. But that's the beauty of having a guy like Hartenstein. Because Hartenstein tonight, you know, in comparison, 27 minutes, only 5 rebounds there, you know, 2 steals, 1 assist. He got 1 block. You know, but just the physicality and being able to move, it's just a different look for Miami. So I think that a guy like Hartenstein just matches up a little bit better against Miami Heat. So that's the luxury the Knicks have with the 2 players, man, you know?
And you know, another thing just real quick about this matchup with these 2 teams, you know, I don't know how you go through life, like if growing up you had somebody that you played sports with or whatever it is. I got, you know, a close friend that I play you know, PlayStation with, right, you know, here and there. So when I have time, whether it be Madden or whatever it is, we play each other so much that he knows exactly what I'm trying to do. I know exactly what he does. So it's just a matter of who's got it going at that given time, because we know what each other is trying to do. It feels like when Miami plays the Knicks, Miami knows exactly what the Knicks are trying to do and vice versa, and they just game plan accordingly. It's all about the first time they see each other, what little wrinkles the other team doing that can kind of throw them off a little bit. I feel like kind of that might have been something that they saw a little bit in that third quarter because they were stuck like a deer in headlights. But I just think it's interesting that they know each other so well, especially after having that nice playoff series in the second round.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it's a joy for us, you know, just basketball fans watching the game because it was a nationally televised game too. So you know, you got other fans got to watch us. So you know, rather than all the offensive, you know, games, the superstar players and stuff like that people like to watch, when you watch the Miami Heat and the Knicks, you get a different style of game. You know, so I just think it's a good look, you know, just for nationally for people to take a look at that. You know, I definitely got a lot of respect for the Miami Heat team, man. It's a ways away from the 90s. You know, I know people still hold on to the 90s, but you got to remember the 90s was like, you know, a long time ago, man. It's like, you know, we're talking about 20 plus years ago. You know what I'm saying? But people still hold on to those memories. But, you know, that time is past, man. So we can look at the Miami Heat team and we can respect them, you know, because, you know, we play them well, but they play us very well too. So definitely got to give that respect.
100%. Jalen Brunson, man, You know what? Like, what can you really say about this guy? Oh boy. I mean, 10 of 16 shooting, 62% from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. This was a rare occurrence where his 3 ball really wasn't hitting the way he'd like. And plus, the Miami Heat were playing a really good defense against him and not allowing him to really get up a lot of shots. And he just wasn't forcing the issue, which is shout out to him. Kudos to him, because it's not easy when you're a guy on a team and you know that you're one of the best scorers on the team. You got to, put up some buckets. He did a really good job of kind of just going with the flow and taking what he could get, but not forcing the issue. He was 3 of 5 from the free throw line. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, finished with 24 points. We're going to get into a little bit more of Brunson's game in a little bit, because I want to talk about, how important he was to this game overall. Then you got Quentin Grimes. Man, I don't know what to say about Quentin. I guess, 20 minutes played, 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. He had two assists, 1 steal, and he finished with 3 points. I mean, he hit 1 shot. I mean, look, I don't want to be one of those guys. I like Quentin Grimes. I want Quentin Grimes to succeed here with the Knicks. We need more from this young man, and he needs more for himself too, because listen, he's got to worry about his livelihood. Next year is payday year for him. He's got to keep progressing and showing that he deserves to get a nice secondary contract after this rookie contract. And I just feel like it's been a struggle so far. It's been the aggressiveness, it's tough. Like, he made 1 play off the dribble where the defense collapsed on. He broke down the dribble, got to the rim, and made the pass to Mitchell Robinson for the easy layup, which I thought was great. I love to see more of that. I don't know. Like, we blame the player a lot, but it's not just the player. To me, it's everybody. This is a team. It's his teammates, it's the coach, and it's him. He needs to be more aggressive. His teammates need to find him and get him involved in the game, because I'm telling you, if the Knicks want to go far, they need to get a guy who's starting on their team and playing 20 plus, even sometimes 30 minutes out there. They need to get him in the flow of the offense so that they can use him when it gets into these tough games, when other guys don't have it, or just to give another option out there to keep the defense honest. What's your thoughts on Grimes, Eru?
Well, a couple of things that the guys are saying here. Grimes needs to drive to the hoop to get that space for the jump shot. He needs to learn that 1 dribble pull up game. A lot of times he says 3 built on dribbles, but Kerry Cox, sometimes you hang out with me, man. And sometimes the guy takes 2 dribbles, right, and it just gives it up right away. One thing about Grimes too is that he's playing like side to side. He's not looking at the rim at all. He's not square to the basket at all. Not prepared to make a move. You want to talk about 3-point? The what do they call that? The 3-point stance, whatever. What do they call that?
The triple threat.
Triple threat. There you go. The triple threat stance. He's never in triple threat. He's always looking side to side. And if he does make those moves, he's automatically looking for RJ, Julius, or Brunson, running towards them. God, please take the ball from me, So I think that's the problem. When Dante, it took a comparison. When Dante was the starter, Dante was in the 3-point stance a lot, and he knew when to make those cuts to the basket. Because, it's not about taking shots or forcing things. It's about taking what the defense gives you. A lot of times Grimes has the opportunity to make something happen, but he's too busy searching for somebody to help him left and right, where he doesn't even look and see what the play is, So these are things that he probably would get over time, because he's a good player. He's a good player. You can see that he's smart. He's a winner. Plays good defense, But I just think that he's so trapped up trying to fit in the system, trying to do what Tom Thibodeau wants him to do, And then I just think that he's spooked by that, So
100%.
Can we afford? Yeah, right. Can we afford to wait 2 more seasons though? Because right.
I don't know, bro. What you just said was the same thing I was thinking. Like, Grimes is a very cerebral player. He's always thinking, and I think maybe he thinks a little too much. Like, he's thinking too much of, what's the next play I got to do? Can I make this play? If I don't make this play, okay, what should I do? Should I give the ball up? I want to keep the offense flowing. I got to keep. That's like, I feel like he's constantly thinking out there, and so because of that, he's deferring. Whereas I talked about, I think I mentioned it earlier today. I'm not sure, but the difference between like Grimes and Quickley, for example, Grimes will pump fake because the defense affected his shot, and then he's looking to pass the ball. Whereas Quickley pump fakes into another shot. I'm pump faking. I'm gonna take you off the dribble. How can I get a floater? Or I'm pump faking. I'm stepping to the side so I can put up another. Like it's an offensive, aggressive type of style. And Grimes he's caught in between. Like and I hate I don't want people to be down on Grimes to think that he don't have it. He's got it. He's just not doing it. He's not seeing it. He just has to get out of his own head. His teammates, like I said, need to help build him up, get him involved, run some cuts, some screens, some curls, do something to get a guy like Grimes open. Maybe Grimes is a different type of player. Maybe they got Grimes set up like an average player who can take a guy off the dribble and get to his spots and take wide open shots and jump. Maybe he needs to be like a Kyle Korver, like a JJ Redick, like a Evan Fournier. Start running him around, on the offense, getting him cuts and see if he can get shots like that. Try a different style of play for him. I'll be interested to see how that works for him because he obviously doesn't do it the other way.
Yeah, me too. I agree with you. But when we start talking like that, then now like you mentioned those players, Kyle Korver and all like that. But we had a guy like that named Steve Novak. People get I made that little reel, YouTube video short. I was just being funny, but not for nothing. Quentin Grimes has resorted to like that role player where all he's doing is waiting to get a 3-point shot. Nothing else is happening. So he's literally Steve Novak, and it's a waste of his own time. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we could wait 2 years, and I think he would develop into the player that we think he's going to be. But I don't think this team has 2 years. Because in 2 years, we got to pay Julius, we got to pay Brunson. We waited for Archie to get to where he is. We waited for Mitch Robinson to get there. At the moment, we can't wait for guys to get anywhere. Right now, we had a spot where the salaries are low at the moment. We can add players to this team, so we need to take advantage of these little windows here to improve the team. We cannot wait 2 more years for one guy to figure it out. That's ridiculous, So yeah. I don't want to talk about trading so much, but shout out to Kerry Cox. I talk about this trade a lot on my channel, just trying to get DeRozan right off the bat, Fournier and a first round pick, the filler, because the Bulls will have to get better some kind of way. So adding a Grimes to that mix might be something that might be interesting in. Getting Fournier, which is basically they're going to waive him once they get him there. Have Grimes there along with the first round draft pick, and then bring in DeMar in here. For that reason, I'm thinking DeMar will be able to stop these 5 minutes, without scoring stretches. I think that would help out a lot. He'll be able to pass the ball too, give guys a break out there, so it won't be so catastrophic where Julius is turning the ball over 6 to 7 times, forcing stuff. If you get that extra player in there, then now Julius can focus on something else. Guys can kind of settle down a little bit. That's the thought process, not necessarily just DeRozan. There's other options out there, but one thing, putting Grimes in his trade is one thing, but it's not because we hate on Grimes or because Grimes doesn't have it. It's just that Grimes might be on a different timeline. And then also, too, we mentioned guys like Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo. These guys basically do the same thing. Then you add Quickley to the mix. We already have guys that do what Grimes does. So we need to utilize some of our assets here and get somebody in here that does something that we don't do, or get something in that does something that we need.
Right?
No matter what that is.
Yeah, 100%. So that's Quentin Grimes. I mean, that's going to be a story that's we're going to have to watch it all season. Just see, players go through peaks and valleys. He's still a young guy. We'll see what happens. But don't give up on him, guys. Don't give up on him.
It's a long season.
Yeah, it definitely is. And then I think Eru had mentioned Isaiah Hartenstein's numbers, but he finished with 2 points, 1 block, 2 steals, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. Played 27 minutes, 1 of 3 shooting. Yeah, but Hartenstein had a tough assignment because he had to come into the game a little sooner than you would normally expect. And he also had to stay out of foul trouble. I think he did a pretty good job. He tried his best as well. He stayed on the court because it's interesting how both our centers have been notoriously known for fouling out of games earlier in their career, and they've been doing a fantastic job this year of avoiding those type of issues. So shout out to both of them. But I think Hartenstein, and the other thing is Hartenstein couldn't really get going in this game, but you got to take what your opposing team is giving you. But there was that one play where I saw Hartenstein look at Jalen Brunson, and he was trying to pass the ball to him. He said, "Go." And he was pointing, and Brunson was a little confused. Where did you want me? And then he just ran to the basket, and Hartenstein hit him with the perfect assist. And it's like that's the type of things that in a game like this, those easy baskets matter. And Hartenstein knows how to thread the needle. Sometimes it's a little congested, it's a little wild, but for the most part, he throws good passes. You just got to cut. We got to move, man. This team, guys like Grimes, not necessarily Brunson, but when he does it, he does it. But guys like Grimes, DiVincenzo, Hart, I don't know, maybe even Julius to some extent. These guys need to cut. When Hartenstein's in the game, cut off of what he's doing and get these quick, easy opportunities, man. But we'll see.
Yeah, we have willing passes all over the court, man. So that play, it was Josh Hart. I remember it, man. He was standing there. He was telling him go. And Josh Hart was like, who, me? Oh, go this way? Oh. And then when he finally made the cut, he didn't even know.
I'm sorry. It was Josh Hart. I kept saying Brunson. That was Josh Hart who was, correct.
Yeah, once he made that cut, he didn't even realize how open he was. He got all the way to the basket and laid it up. Did he get an and one with that too?
Not on that one. Sure. No, not on that one.
Yeah, but a lot of the guys do that. You know, if you just make that simple cut, man, you're going to be open because guys can pass the ball. RJ, Julius, Brunson, these guys can make these passes, man. So just it's a matter of trust. Guys got to just trust each other. Watch tape as a team and see where these opportunities are and take advantage of it.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of Josh Hart, nice segue there, Eru. Josh Hart was 4 of 7 shooting. He played 25 minutes, 57%. 1 of 3 from 3. It was nice to see him. And all those 3-point opportunities, those shots, was good shots to see Josh Hart take. We always complain about him not taking the shots. This time he showed a little bit more willingness to shoot, which was good to see. One of them he knocked down. One of them was in and out. It's just good to see. He was 1 of 1 from the free throw line in typical Josh Hart fashion, around 8 rebounds. This time, 8 rebounds. I think he averaged 7 for the whole season last year. So it's good to see. He had 4 assists and 10 points and 1 steal. This is a really good Josh Hart type of game. I know, you guys in the chat going, it's not an $80 million type of game, but hey, it is what it is, So
not everybody's built to score
we got
20
him.
Points. Yeah, not everybody's built to score that. He has a job to do. So my thing is everybody has a job to do on this team. People need to just do their job, not anything outside of it. If they do their job, then the Knicks are a really good team.
Yeah, 100%. And then we got Emmanuel Quickley. We're going to talk a little bit more about him as well, guys. 25 minutes played, 8 of 17 from the field, 47%, 4 of 8 from 3, 50%. Good to see. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block for Quickley. That block, by the way, was a good block on Kyle Lowry, who could have knocked down the shot that made the Knicks were trying to come back, and that Kyle Lowry could have extended their lead a little bit more with that. And he wound up finishing with 20 points. He was huge in this game. We'll talk a little bit more about him in a second. Then you got Donte DiVincenzo finishing up the guys who played. He played 16 minutes, 1 of 4 from the field, 25%. He was 1 of 2 from 3, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. The thing about Donte, every time you see his stat line, it's always he's always doing something in each of the categories. He's just a really good all-around player. He's got a lot of skill. And then he finished with 5 points. But and I just wanted to say this about Donte, and I'm not taking anything away from Donte DiVincenzo. Could Donte be the answer in the starting lineup over Quickley? He could. Am I sold that that's the definite way they should go? Me personally, no. I don't know for certain. I don't know if Grimes will be better served coming off the bench. Maybe he will. Maybe that bench unit can kind of do their thing and they can, open up his game. And maybe Donte can fit in with the starters better than Grimes has been. But you know what? Every game is different. Grimes, has looked bad in certain games. DiVincenzo looked good in certain games. But there was also a game that DiVincenzo started where he didn't look that great. And sometimes even coming off the bench, we need him for a spark, and maybe he doesn't necessarily have it. So the Knicks players, it's going to be up and down. We just got to hope that they figure out what makes sense and what works best for what they're trying to do out there. But I still think it's a little early. We're not even at the 20-game mark. Let's just give it a little bit more time and let's see what they got. It doesn't matter because we can't make the change, but at least Thibodeau can take a look and see at some point if Grimes continues to play like this, I think he will make a change. But
yeah, like you said, it's so early on in the game. There hasn't been any changes as far as personnel, just Dante DiVincenzo. But still, the offense has changed a little bit. I feel like Tom Thibodeau's added some things, even though it's not perfect. You look at Tom Thibodeau, you wish that he would do certain things, but he has changed the offense a little bit. The pacing has changed a lot. So, guys like RJ and stuff like that, they're playing much more efficient and stuff. So, it's definitely a change. So it's going to take time for guys to get themselves assimilated. But I posted this here because he just simply mentioned Spider, in this thing there. So I mean, people still want to trade for guys like Spider. People were talking about Levine recently, and then also too another thing was with what's the coach that just left? Excuse me, our GM that just left. He was talking about
Scott Perry.
Yeah, Scott Perry. They were talking about sliding RJ to the 2 and putting a true small forward at the 3 spot. So all these different scenarios, adding, trading for Spider and all that stuff, that requires getting Grimes out of the starting lineup. So for people that complain about, Grimes, you're hating on Grimes, but in the same breath, you would put Donovan Mitchell there in that spot with no problem. And in the same breath, you will put RJ in that spot with no problem too, if we get a better small forward. You know what I'm saying? So like the arguments need to make sense too. When you argue, you can't complain about, you guys are hating on this guy, but in the drop of a dime, you would drop Grimes just to make those other things happen. So you kind of just gotta need to make these arguments a little bit more uniform here when you're talking about Grimes. Just put things in proper perspective. When you're talking about guys.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey man, so listen, it was a fantastic game, man. It was a wild one, like cardiac Knicks, the Jekyll. I like to call them the Jekyll and Hyde Knicks, man, because I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm dealing with. They're a roller coaster, bro. They're a roller coaster. But guys, I don't know if you've had your chance, to get one of those beautiful shirts, those T-shirts or hoodies that the collaboration between NBK and Print Jurisdiction has come up with. But I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about once again? Captain Clutch.
I forgot all about it, man. I'm about to buy one right now as soon as we get off of here. I mean, that is a really good piece of artwork there.
Yes, it is, man. It's fire, bro. It is fire. I'm not saying I got one, but I ain't just saying.
I'm about to get one as soon as I get off of here, man. So if you don't hurry up and get it, I'm gonna get one.
Oh no, I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. The pre-order has happened. So yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. As we've already mentioned multiple times. I mean, how many times do you guys need to see it before you believe it? Captain Clutch is in the building again. Tonight is another night of him showing you who he is. We didn't make that up. He made that. That's his name right there, Captain Clutch. Did it again.
I gotta say something though. What is this, man? Because I mean, it's is he smelling something? Like, because he kind of like does something specific with it. So I mean, what is that? Are we ever gonna find out what's the true meaning of that little thing that he does with his?
That's the symbol for the venom that he was injected with. That's why he's Clutch. I don't know.
The Clutch, he's sipping that Clutch juice or something. I don't know.
One day I hope he does tell us, but I think the thing I like about Brunson is he's a very quiet to himself type of guy. Apparently he likes to party. He has a good time when he does have a good time, but for the most part, you never really know it. And I think he loves having that little bit of mystique. The less you know, the better. And maybe, I someone said that, he's a little bit nerdy when it comes to certain things. So maybe the true meaning behind it is not something that everybody's going to be jacking like, oh, that's what it meant. So he's like, you know what? It's better that you don't know.
Josh Hart has a weird sense of humor too. So listening to his humor and then looking at Brunson, how he plays a straight man whenever they're talking with each other. So I know there's something crazy having to do with that little thing, man. But I think it's better for us not to know now. Wait till it goes down the line when they start doing those like 30 for 30 type of videos later on. Let's say if the Knicks become successful, and then we're talking about this era, then we finally can figure it out, and then it won't be so like it won't be a dominant conversation at the time. We can look back at it and be like, oh, okay, that's what it meant. You guys are crazy,
Yeah, 100%. Look at the Jibby Diggs in the chat. I see you, Jibby Diggs. He said, Captain Clutch, y'all better give IQ his props and stop being clowns. Hey, man, listen, I like that you sticking up for your guy IQ. I don't think anybody's clowns here when we're talking about Captain Clutch because, listen, this is how I look at it. I don't wonder if you think about it differently, Ebru. To me, the Knicks played a good, solid first half basketball game. The third quarter was a cluster. It was horrible, right? But when it comes to this game, I think the Knicks won this game because of three different people. Without their contributions, I don't think we win. Each of them. Quickly doing what he did in that third quarter when he started going and then going into the fourth and keeping us in the game and just hitting some big shots, right? You know, people talk about it. Should the Knicks pay IQ? Yes, they should pay IQ. It's all about whether IQ wants to be here in the role that he's in because they can't guarantee him a better role right now. But I got to tell you, I've said this already multiple times on other shows and my show. Not too many people can say they are the first option off the bench and they're playing 25 to 30 minutes a night and they are the focal point of the bench offense. Like, you can't really get that everywhere. There's other six men that don't even get the same amount of time, or they're not the focal point of the offense when the bench is out there. Like, he is the focal point. He can basically run the show. So it's not like he can't get his shot off and do what he likes to do. So it's a unique situation. And that's why I think Quickley will wind up staying with the Knicks unless they disrespect him with a really bad offer. But I think we can still keep him. I think we can retain him. Yeah, and I think everybody likes him, man. Everybody respects Quickley. He was big tonight. We needed him. If it wasn't for him, I think this game might have been a real blowout, and maybe there would have been no shot for us to come back. But even though Quickley kept us in this game and did a lot, and he was getting it, we wasn't winning. We was still down 15, 14, 17. Like, we were still down numbers. They were still scoring. So I appreciate Quickley for keeping us in the game, but it doesn't stop there. What's your thoughts about how IQ played?
He played great, man. I feel like he came out there just with he just brought the energy. He had his own energy. He came out there kind of like as soon as he got the ball, he was taking off, just trying to start something out of nothing. So I think that's one thing, his natural personality, the busybody. I'm quite sure he got spanked a lot as a kid, you know what I'm saying? But he's one of those guys, So he's definitely needed, man. He definitely brings an element to the team that hopefully if we keep him, that we more than likely as we evolve as a team, him in this 6-man role is just going to be so important, man. Lou Williams, I was afraid to put him in a box, but just like you explained, him coming off the bench, being the focal point, the way that he does, he has his own energy. So that's important for us to have, man. Hopefully the Knicks retain him, and he can stay a Knick as long as we can. Just as with this run, hopefully we can win the big championship with all these guys, still here.
Right. And once again, don't get me wrong, guys. I know coming off the bench is not like being a starter, but I will say that I don't think you can point to any other team in the league that gives a guy like Quickley this type of bench role. I think this is the best bench role you're going to find anywhere in the league. Or there might be something similar, but not better than this. Not saying it's starting though. Yeah, I see what D Coolis is saying, but you know what? I don't think it's the disrespect. I think it's a low ball offer. I think that Quickley's agent obviously hipped him to the business, probably prepared him for something like this to happen, and I think Quickley understands that this is a business before anything. It's their position. They're in that. This happens a lot with players in the league. Sometimes you just want to see a guy play out, the last part of his contract, just because you've already committed money to other players. You're about to commit big money to certain players coming up, and you just want to make sure, like, okay, we just want to see exactly where we think your level is. Because right now, you don't want to be, when it comes to these salaries, how they're going up, you don't want to be one of the first ones to set the market in the wrong way, like give a guy too much. Josh Hart, you know what I mean? Like, so you don't want to continue to do that stuff.
Well, you want to know something about that? Those Josh Hart stuff. I just Googled it just now. February 8th is the trade deadline, so I think that we can't even trade Josh Hart and those guys. I think I think their contracts become tradable after the trade deadline. So, same situation. If we would have signed Emmanuel Quickley at the time, we wouldn't have been able to trade him. So just logistically wise, if the Knicks were going to make a deal, we couldn't have signed IQ just in case we want to make a trade. Because then we could put IQ in the trade. They can extend them in the trade, but just for maneuvering wise, if the Knicks had a trade available that they were willing to make, IQ would have to take the ride. And if we signed them, we wouldn't be able to make those type of moves. So I think that comes into play as well.
100%. And shout out to Evan Hayes. Thank you for tuning into the show. Please smash that like button, show your love. He says, I think IQ wants to start. And this is, and I see D Cooler said the same thing. I know you guys know that NYK, same thing. But as I told people before on another show, like, we don't know what this Knicks team is going to look like at the trade deadline or in the offseason. Anything could happen. So quite simply, just look at it like this. The Knicks might wind up going out there and trading for a backup small forward who could start, right? But can score and or play defense as well. Or maybe it's somebody who's a little more interchangeable. But the point is, they can go trade for that type of guy, or even pick him up in the offseason. I don't know, prior to signing Quickly. You just never know what they can do. But if they bring in another guy who can score, that can come off the bench, that is a playmaker type, they might easily move Grimes to the bench, and Quickley might become the starting two, and they might leave RJ at the 3. You just don't know what the Knicks are going to do yet. Of course, they could make a trade and bring in a real small forward type and then move RJ to the 2, which would really make it a non-issue. Like, there's no starting spot for Quickley, but you just never know where they're going to go. They could do anything.
Yeah, that's the beauty of our situation. I think the Knicks are at a crossroads, not particularly crossroads, but we're just at a point where we could really improve the team. We just don't really know what that's going to be, but we could definitely see a move on the horizon somewhere. So we just have to be patient and just get ready for it, because it is coming. Because it's been a long time coming for the Knicks to make that type of move, and I think the time is now to finally get it going.
Yeah, I agree with you. So the other guy I wanted to talk about, because I think I did say, in my opinion, I think there was 3 people that really affected tonight's victory. The second person who was very instrumental in us winning tonight's game was RJ Barrett. Listen, if RJ Barrett didn't start taking control of the offense in the fourth quarter and slashing and getting to the rim and getting some easy layup opportunities, he got that huge and one at the end of the game to give us a lead. Like, that was very important, the way he was playing. And if you look, RJ was playing solid defense in that fourth quarter, really. And even on the last shot, that Jimmy Butler shot was a great look. Like, he couldn't have asked for a better look. But notice that RJ was right there in his face. His hand was right in his face. Like, that's all you can do with a player, to try to stop them from getting a good look at the rim. RJ played that perfectly, and that was fantastic defense by him. And he played like that throughout the fourth quarter, as well as most of the Knicks played fantastic defense in that fourth quarter. But RJ's role was invaluable. He was huge in that fourth, and he was the second reason why I think we were able to win this game. What's your thoughts on how RJ played, especially in that fourth quarter, Eru?
Yeah, excellent. I agree with everything he's saying there. What, like we mentioned it quite a few times in this podcast, it's just that he understands what's going on now. He's not just doing things just to do things. So if he makes a play to the basket, there's a new move that he's doing now where he'll dribble left, and then he'll come right, and then he'll come left. Like, he's leaving himself options at all times. And then now when he's driving, that shoulder is in, and he's able to make the play to the basket, and he could do it with either side. So I'm just watching little things like that. He's learning, but the one thing about it, he's not forcing it anymore. Now he's being decisive in those different moves. Defensive wise, last year, I don't know what happened last year. Something was going on with his legs. We all were talking about it. But this year, I feel like as a team, teams are getting down into the defensive stance. So just mentally, like when you're playing basketball against a good defensive team and the entire team is down, everybody's down with the tough defensive stands, spread out, with a nice strong base, that intimidates you in some way. I think as a team, the Knicks were all doing that. So I think that's what kind of threw the Miami Heat off. Miami Heat just couldn't really get that confidence, because I think the Knicks really locked in on their assignments, man. So I thought that was incredible. I think RJ had a big, big turn and big, role in that. Just being a leader in that regard. So shout out to RJ Barrett, man. Like I said, I talked junk about him for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Now he's not doing what the stuff that I was saying that he was doing before. So now all I can do is praise him. Praise these guys. They finally cleaned up all their little mistakes, and they're finally playing good basketball. So definitely cool.
100%. I agree. And to your point, man, that it was beautiful watching him make that play when he was under the rim on the left-hand side with the left hand, and he kind of was stuck. He didn't have a place to go, and the defense was right there, collapsed on that side. He just quickly rotated under the hoop and shot the ball off the right side of the bat with the right hand. I was like, what? Come on, RJ. This is what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, the typical RJ, he would have threw like a shot over his head on the opposite side, when it was simple. Like as I'm calling these watch alongs, I'm saying the same thing. Man, just use the other side of the rim. What the hell is wrong with you? Now he comes down up here, fakes, and then use the other side of the rim. Nice and easy. And he's, like I said, he's making these decisive plays, and it's good to see, man. Definitely good to see.
It was really nice, man. Really nice. So shout out to RJ Barrett for really, man, like locking in, cleaning up his game. I love what I'm seeing from him. And then last but not least, you guys we already talked about, we were going to get back into this. So when you talk about how instrumental, RJ was, or how instrumental Quickley was, yes, they were. And we needed their efforts. They really stepped up in this game. But the man who brought it home was Captain Clutch. Captain Clutch, he's the closer of this Knicks team. Like, I don't care. Like, you can say what you want, but no one's really doing it better than Brunson on this team. And his clutch rating, like his clutch shot rating in the end of games and fourth quarters, is pretty high in the league. So you got to put some respect on his name, man. He has been doing a really good job. And you saw how he bullied his way into the paint, getting those shots up that we needed to basically get us to a point where we're close to getting to the lead, and we almost took the lead with him in there, but actually RJ was the reason, because his and one got us the lead with the free throw. So shout out to RJ for that. But if it's not for Brunson, with 4 minutes left in the game, we was down like 10 or 12 points, guys. After everything that I said that was taking place, when Brunson started going, crazy in that moment and really taking control and taking over, that's what helped change the game. And that's what, you also start to say, Quickley's played good. He's keeping us in it. Then you see RJ doing certain things. Okay, we're getting the momentum. It's going. But then when you get the effort from another one of your big guys on the team, Brunson starts getting it going, you start feeling like that invincibility is coming. Like, okay, they can't stop him. So we just got to keep playing defense, and we're going to be right there. I feel like that's exactly what happened. Maybe that's their mindset. I don't know what they talk about in the timeouts and stuff, but it felt like once they knew that Brunson was getting in his bag and he was scoring, I'm like, okay, let's just lock them down on defense and we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Right on point with that. Add Julius to the mix too, because like I said, during that time when we were losing that lead, I made the comment that there was one particular play where Julius literally pushed Brunson out the way to try to get to a spot where Brunson had the ball. It ended up being a turnover there. So the spacing was atrocious. But in the fourth quarter, when everything was when the Knicks were making their push, like you said, we were down by double digits there. Guys locked down on defense, and Julius Randle got out the way. Now it's time for Quickley had it going, RJ had it going, but now it's time for Captain Clutch to do his thing, man. I don't know how he does it either, man. This guy is like bulletproof, 6'2", and he just like that shoulder, that what was it? What shoulder is his right shoulder?
Because he's lefty. It was his right shoulder. Yep.
Yeah, his right shoulder. He was complaining about whatever, but every single play he's bopping somebody with that right shoulder, and I don't know how he gets so deep into the paint and still able to make these shots, man. He's like fearless, and I haven't seen anybody like that in a long time. Playing the way that he plays at his height. I don't think I recall anybody playing the way that he plays, man. So, definitely kudos to Jalen Brunson, man. I'm glad to have him because he makes tough shots, man. He makes tough shots. It's amazing. It's amazing watching Jalen go.
Yeah, man, it's so fun to watch. And then I get so excited. I love watching the replay, looking at the opposing bench when he's hitting these shots like that. They're like, damn, man, that dude's good. I love watching that.
Yeah, Brunson was fired up too, man. He was talking a lot of junk after every shot that he made down the stretch. He was shouting at I don't know anybody in particular, but he definitely was in the moment, man, feeling himself there. It's good to see.
Yeah, it really was, because I think, for Brunson too, like, he's had some good games to start this season, but he hasn't got on like that typical Brunson run where he's super consistent and at his normal marks of 50% from the field and stuff like that. He's been shooting great from three, astronomical from three, but from the field he hasn't kind of been right like where we're used to seeing him. So I think this was a good game for him too, to get him, his juices going and getting him fired up. So it was good to see. It was a really big, really big win. Once again, guys, if you're just joining in, the Knicks were down 21 in this game. It was 51-50 at halftime, and Miami blew the game open to an extent, but they didn't blow the Knicks out. Like, the Knicks stood the test. They made it through that third quarter. They started to fight back at the end of the third. They took it into the fourth, where they gave themselves a chance to lock down on the defensive end. Everybody contributed. Even Julius Randle, when he came into the game, he struggled for big parts of this game, but in that fourth quarter, he just acquiesced. He let the guys who had the hot hand do their thing, and he just tried to do whatever he could to help assist in getting the win. So really good team win from this Knicks squad, man. 100-98 was the final score, man.
Yeah, man, definitely. But I'm looking at the box score here too. Outside of Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and the rest of the guys, we're talking about Kyle Lowry, who's old now. Who the hell is Highsmith? You know what I'm saying? Just a random bum, that the Miami Heat picks up. Josh Richardson is a has been too. Kevin Love is old now. Jamie Jack is a rookie. Khalid Martin is a career journeyman as well. And then Cole Swider, who is he? So just on paper, this is a team that we should annihilate. We should not allow them to go down, to go up 19, 21 points on us like that. So little things like that. I just wish the Knicks would capitalize on. But just kudos to the Knicks for staying with it. That's one thing under Tom Thibodeau, especially. There's no game that we're never not in, man. We could beat any team at any time, man. With our squad. So it's something to be proud of. One thing about, say, like Twitter, everybody, we go on Twitter to see immediate reactions, from Twitter, and everybody's always arguing about the same points. But one thing that we need to come back to, because now it's been 5 years now, we're talking about, we made the playoffs the first year, missed the playoffs the second year, made the playoffs again. So now under Tom Thibodeau, this is what, the fourth year now under Tom Thibodeau, but these guys have been together for 5 years, shout out to Fizdale. So we know our guys, we know the way that we play. And just the evolution of the way that we've been playing, man, it's to a point now where we just have to just be proud of our guys and the effort and just the way where we came from and where we are now is night and day. So this is something to be proud of, man. So at this point in time, as a Knicks fan, like I said, we're in a point where we can get better via trade, but like I said, just the evolution of our players, man, to get us to this point. We definitely need to have some pride in these guys and really get behind them, because they're doing some good stuff out there.
Yeah, 100%. Once again, guys, Knicks wound up winning a tough one, 100-98. And let's not forget, this game had so much riding on it, because not only was this the first time the Knicks get to play the Miami Heat, who knocked them out of the playoffs in the second round last year. So they get to face them and kind of basically, they were talking about it as the game was going on. This gave the Knicks an opportunity to say, hey, we're not the same Knicks team. Now, granted, that third quarter, it could have looked really bad. Miami would be like, oh, okay, you are the same team. But, and to what Ebru was saying, like, the players that they had out there, remember, Duncan was hurt. Tyler Hero was hurt. And Duncan was averaging around 20 points per game before he got hurt. So having either one of those guys out there, it might have been a wrap for the Knicks. They might not have been able to come back. And if they had both of those guys who can really knock it down, it might have been tough. But fortunately, it worked out in our favor, and we were able to Ebru's point. We really should have never got down that much to this team. That third quarter should have never happened the way it did, but it did. And that just shows you. And you know how you know it shouldn't have happened? Because they were able to turn on that defense in that fourth and get right back in it and win the game after being down so much. That shows you that that third quarter should have never happened the way it did. But the other thing I wanted to say is this was also an in-season tournament game, guys. You guys saw the orange court once again. You know, the Knicks were 1-1 coming into this game, you know, behind others in their division, Miami being one of them. And guess what? Miami was 2-0. So now we beat Miami. So Miami's now 2-1, and now the Knicks are 2-1. And I think because of the point differential, the way we played other teams, and you know, and been scoring, we have a little bit of an edge. So if there was a tiebreaker right now, the Knicks have an edge over Miami and a lot of other teams. So they would be in that wild card spot. Now, we have one more game coming up very shortly. I think it's Wednesday against Charlotte.
Let me see. I have the schedule up here too.
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, the next game, the 20 is the 26th, I believe. We play what's his name? The Suns. We play Charlotte. Yeah,
Oh no,
Charlotte
sorry.
is the next
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So we play the Suns on Sunday, and then but the Hornets game, that's going to be another in-season game with the Orange Court at Madison Square Garden. So if we win that game, I think we're in to the tournament because we'll be 3-1, and like I said, we hold a lot of the point differential for a tiebreaker. So I mean that's a really important game for the Knicks too, to beat up on the Hornets when we get there, and that might clinch them for being at least in the conversation to go to Vegas and see what happens out there. So I think what they call it when that Tuesday game is part of the knockout round.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the in-season tournament? Because I mean, I think before the game started, it's really just the nostalgia of it, like having the new courts and the new uniforms, and just the media gets to have something to do. So it's like different graphics and stuff like that. So the excitement on their end, they're doing their job, but I don't think it's been exciting yet. And because I mean, the Knicks have their own, they hold their future in their own hands. If they could beat Charlotte, then it's like, okay, well, we actually can do something in this tournament here. So now it's become exciting now. So what's your thoughts on it, man?
I'll be honest with you. I kind of been just going with the motions, bro. Just kind of letting it happen, see where it goes until today. Today was the first day that I saw the impact of it. And I said, you know what? This is the juice that I think they were trying to get out of it. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in Vegas once they get there. But today was a really good example. Now, I'm not saying it affected the Knicks game. The Knicks just, they have some pride. They wanted to win. I don't think it has nothing to do with the in-season tournament. However, watching the Orlando game versus Boston and watching how Orlando was getting at it with Boston, that game meant something to Orlando. Those young guys want that money. You could tell they want that money.
Yeah.
So that was good to see. And they knocked, not only has Orlando knocked off Boston, but they knocked off the Denver Nuggets the other day. Like, this means something to them. So yeah, that's what the NBA is trying to go for. And I said, that it would be really great. Now, don't get me wrong. If the Knicks can be in it, I want the Knicks to be in it and win it for whatever reason. You know what I mean? But if the Knicks wasn't in it, I would love to see it be teams like Orlando, OKC, San Antonio. Like, I want to see the young teams go at it because this $500,000 means something to these young players. So that would be great. I'm looking forward to it. See what happens.
Yeah, man, it is dope. Like you mentioned Vegas. I forgot that they go to Vegas for the championship rounds and stuff like that. So that's pretty exciting. You get to go to like not even a home court. You get to go to a neutral venue and just play off. You're having a great time. You're actually playing basketball, trying to win something. So I think it'll be fun. The excitement will be there if they get to Vegas and you realize that they're in Vegas and the lights a little bit different and stuff like that. I think it will be something. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that the Knicks, are taking control of their destiny and can put themselves in a position to be a part of that. I think that'll be good for the franchise.
Yeah, I think it's a really good look. It's a really good look just to be a part of something different. Get certain players a little hype, and it really gets those other guys more involved. Now, with regards to the Knicks, you don't have. That's why I said the Knicks are a little different. If they go out there and they're doing this, they're doing it because they have pride and they just want to win. But they don't have the hunger on their team of players that money could really change. Change something for them. You know what I mean? Uh, IQ is about to get a big payday. Maybe Quentin Grimes is one that the money could be like a little interesting for him. But all the other guys, RJs, the Brunsons, the Dante DiVincenzo's, the Hart, everybody got money. They got paid. You know what I mean? Like it's not as big, but there's other teams, they got a little bit more to look forward to. So we'll see how it turns out, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty fun, man.
Yeah,
But, we got the schedule here, man. So we got the Suns next, which is an interesting game, 6 p.m. and on a Sunday. We mentioned the Charlotte game, 7:30 in season game. We got the Pistons, and then we got the Raptors, man. So what do you think about the next four?
Oof, that Suns game is going to be interesting to see. And Craig said how much? The winners of the tournament get $500,000 each. So that might not be much to a millionaire who's making tons and tons of money, but to someone who's making 400,000 or maybe a million or even 2 million, 500,000 is 500,000. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting, Craig.
Yeah, it makes me want to go out there and shoot some hoops right now. Get my jump shot going. Give me a 10-day contract or something. I want some money too, man. 500,000. I could use that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Craig. But anyway, that's still good to know for some people who may not know. I didn't think he was talking about that. He was wondering how much do we think for IQ? What's your thoughts on that real quick before we get into the schedule? How much do you think the Knicks should pay IQ?
Well, it's going to be in the range of between whatever Josh and Dante got and whatever. Who's the least amount? I think it's Brunson at the moment. So 20 million, a little bit over 20 maybe. It is what it is. They're gonna have to pay him to keep him. But we can't pay all of our guys. At some point, we need to get another starter. We can't keep paying our bench players. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking. So they offered him around 80, and he didn't like that. So I'm thinking it's gonna be somewhere around 90 to 95.
Yeah,
But I think his camp wants over 100. I don't see that. I mean, it could happen if especially if he gets an offer from another and he signs that qualifying offer. Because that's the other thing, guys. He can get offers from everybody, but if he don't sign the qualifying offer, then the Knicks aren't forced to match it. They can still negotiate on their own terms.
yes,
So just keep that in mind.
yeah, good business on the next part.
Yeah. So so the Suns game is going to be interesting. Tonight, they it's nice to have a weapon that the type of weapons they have to have Booker and Beal and Durant, but Beal hasn't really been that big of a weapon for them. He's kind of been mediocre over there since he's been there, but Durant and Booker have been going in, and Booker's been kind of hurt a little bit. So Durant's had to go in, but when Durant's out there running the show, he's been averaging around 30 points, 30 plus, 32 plus, I think. But tonight, or today, should I say, they didn't have Durant. So Booker had to be out there, and Booker went for 40. Like they're just like when they're trying to share the ball and find their roles, they're interesting, because they still got to figure out how to play together. But when one of them is out, and so the other person could be the focal point, these dudes go in, man. Like Booker knew Durant wasn't going to be there, so he went in.
Yeah, they
And
got
look
other
at that.
guys too. Eric Gordon had 20. So they
Mhm.
have guys that can fill in little spots. That Grayson Allen has been playing pretty good this year too. I mean, it's a luxury to have those superstar players, but if you don't have a superstar, they have two.
Mhm.
If you want to say Beal is a superstar, they have three.
Yeah, I don't want to give Beal that. Not the way he's been playing this year.
Yeah, but he's still like a fringe all-star, borderline
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So the rich, is richer. Rich is rich. Knicks are just not on that level, but it is what it is with that.
Yeah, agreed. But I think so. If Durant plays, it's going to be tough because the Knicks win. Yeah, but it'll be tough. But if for whatever reason Durant's not playing, and you just have to go up against Booker and possibly, him dropping 40 points, I take my chances. I think the Knicks will win that game if Durant's not there.
Yeah, that game is actually now it's going to be tomorrow on Sunday. That's only one day away. So I mean, if Durant doesn't play, I think the Knicks could guard Booker. I think the Knicks have done a good job playing defense. So I don't think Booker would get 40. So if they can keep Booker like around his averages and stuff like that, and then I think the Knicks could handle that team no problem. At least that's what I say. That's what my heart says. So we'll have to
I
see.
hear you.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, and we kind of, obviously Knicks versus the Hornets. I think the Knicks should be able to win that game, but I'm going to say it again. Don't sleep on Charlotte. Charlotte got a lot of weapons offensively that can cause some problems. Defense is still a little lackluster, but their offense, if they've got all their guys, we're talking about Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges, LaMelo Ball, PJ Jefferson, or what is his name? PJ,
Washington.
right? Yeah. PJ Washington, my fault.
Mm-hmm.
PJ Washington, the young center they got from Duke, Mark Williams?
Yes.
And there's someone else they got that I'm missing.
Gordon, you said Gordon Hayward, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the rookie from Alabama, Brandon.
Oh, Brandon, he was kicking up behinds last time, man.
Ooh, they got a lot of offensive weapons over there. That's a tough team. So you can't take it for granted because the Knicks win, yes. And should they win, yes. Yeah. So, but hey, going back to what I said, remember how I said that, the Knicks don't have a lot of guys that the 500,000 means a bunch to. I mean, of course, nobody wants to give away money if they can get it. The Hornets got those young guys, so that money might mean a little bit more to them. So. Just
a
saying.
couple of those guys got some legal trouble too, so they can use that 500,000.
Facts.
Moving to the Pistons. The Pistons have some talent too. So every game the Knicks play, man, is always going to be some team. They have the ability to beat you. You got to show up. So they can't hold the Pistons for granted. The Raptors they love to beat the Knicks. Especially with Missouri. I'm quite sure that dude comes into the locker room and gives them a pep talk every time we play the Knicks because we can't lose. They can't lose against us. With all the stuff that's happening with us behind the scenes. So
right,
it's gonna be a fun week, man, of basketball. We're almost in December, man. The Toronto game is in December 1st.
Yeah, it's crazy. Time is flying, bro, man. Yeah. It's nuts. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that Pistons game. They got some nice talent over there. They're starting to surprise some people. I said, I wonder if this is the year where those young teams start to really take it to the next level. We're already starting to see it with OKC. OKC is starting to become a problem. Yeah. So, yeah.
Like you mentioned Orlando a couple of times too. Orlando's playing really good basketball as well.
Yeah.
So it's about time, or like you mentioned, Durant and these guys, they're getting old, man. These guys are like on the wrong side of 30. They're still getting their 30-point games and stuff like that, but they're not going to be doing that in 5 years, or so. So some of these other teams are definitely, the young guys, team like Houston, a lot of these teams are definitely stepping up. So, it's good for us fans. We always been talking about these guys for the last 20 years. Now we finally get to see a new flock where we really got to start doing our homework now. We can't just be like, oh, Durant, Booker, this guy, like that. We have to start reading the box score. Who is this guy? Who's that guy?
Right. Yeah. And then, the last of these 4 games, Knicks versus the Raptors. And I don't care whatever the Raptors become, they always going to be a problem for teams. The Raptors are just so funky. Sometimes they could be playing so well, and you're like, oh, they're going to be a problem when they play that team. And then they play that team and they lose. But the Raptors always get up to play the Knicks. So, and this game is in Toronto, so I expect that game to be very, very tough. Plus, there's already that thing between Quickley Grimes and Scotty Barnes. So, that's like their own inner rivalry that they got. I know Barnes is going to look forward to playing Quickley Grimes. And so this is what makes me upset about this whole Quickley Grimes thing, because I would love to go into this game saying, you know what, Quickley Grimes is going to, go out there and try to light Barnes up. I can't say that confidently because he can't say it confidently. So.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
Scotty Barnes is a weirdo, man. The people rank him above RJ and stuff. Anyway, I think RJ finally solidified himself in this league now. But the Toronto Raptors, they have a lot of question marks on their squad, but they have talent. But it would be nice for Grimes to at least bang it on Barnes or something like that. Go baseline and just take his head off. That would be nice.
Right, 100%. I mean, it's I don't know, man. I hope. Like when you saying it, I'm like, man, that would be great if I could see, but I
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Grimes has
But
a great first step. If he can catch that first step and get down the lane and bang it on them, that would be nice.
oh man, that would be fantastic. Like it would be nice. Like so, I don't want to say that. I don't want to put that out there because it makes it sound different. But I would love to see the Knicks really rally behind Quentin Grimes and say, when we play Toronto, we're gonna try to get Grimes going. Like I would love to see that. That would show me a lot being on that team, like watching them say, hey, man, they really looked out for their teammate. This game, they tried to get Grimes. Grimes got like 15 attempts. You know what I mean? Not that many, but I'm just saying, like, they were really trying to get him going. That would be nice to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And
Craig said one more thing before. I mean, I guess we're almost done here. He said, if we pay IQ the bag, how would we be able to sign a superstar? Well, I mean, that's going to be a whole thing. Right now, we don't have a lot of money anyway, Craig. But let's not forget Fournier's money is coming off the books at the end of the year, so that's going to go into the IQ signing if we choose to bring him back in that capacity. But they don't really have a lot of money to sign anybody anyway. So I don't think you can see us signing somebody. If we want a superstar type player, we're going to have to trade for that person unless we sign them 2 years from now, when Brunson and Julius have the player options, because they're both probably not going to sign those player options, and they're going to, either sign the new deals with the Knicks or they're going to become free agents. So that is when the money opens up, that money that we're paying Brunson and the money we're paying Julius. And so a lot of people feel like the Knicks will decide to continue to pay Julius at that point and sign him to a new contract. And then whatever money we were paying Julius, we will use it to sign someone else. That's the only way, in my
uh,
opinion.
the issue is though, like, who is that player? Because people say, "Oh, we need to get a superstar player," but it's to the point now where you gotta say who they are now. What superstar player do you think the Knicks are gonna be able to sign? Via trade or sign, whatever it is. Who is that superstar player?
Well,
Because
that's what I've been saying, Ebro. I'm done with the whole superstar conversation because I don't see who is it.
right. So I mean, how many superstars are in this league? I think that word is being used too much. So are we talking about Luca? Is Luca gonna somehow be available? Are we talking about Giannis? Are we talking about what's the other guy? Uh, Embiid. There's not too many players in the league that are true superstars. Donovan Mitchell's not a superstar. You know, if he was on the Knicks, maybe he would be considered a superstar because of the media attention. But he's not necessarily like making the Cavaliers a powerhouse, because that's what superstars do. To make their dangerous players. He is a dangerous player, but he's not really making his team. You know what I'm saying? The same thing like Scott Perry was saying. Like, Donovan Mitchell is good, but he's not worthy of trading RJ and a whole bunch of other key players to get Donovan Mitchell, because it's really just gonna just make us be treading water. We're gonna get rid of all of our players just to get that one guy, and we still didn't get better. So
Hmm.
who are these superstar players that we think we can get? You know,
That's a tough one, man. I don't know, man. I really like. I the other day we talked about it, and I named all the guys that everybody's been naming. Zach Levine, whether you want to call him a superstar or not, whatever. Will he change anything for the Knicks, or do you put him in the same realm like a Donovan Mitchell? I think he's like the same type in that realm, like a Donovan Mitchell. Doesn't play great defense, can score, and makes a lot of money for what he does out there. I think Donovan's a little better player than Zach Levine, but I'm just saying he's in that ballpark, right?
yeah,
The DeRozan is not a superstar. He can help the Knicks, but he's not a superstar. Um, Joel Embiid. Philadelphia is playing a lot better than most people thought they would. He's not going anywhere. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Maybe he would want to leave, but I don't think so right now. He's happy. But I will say I would like to pay attention to that Milwaukee situation, because even though Milwaukee is 11-5, I just don't like the way they play sometimes with Dame out there. And I'm not saying that, maybe something's not going to change. It's remember, it's still early. Everybody's still after 1 month and I mean like 20 games, 25 games. That's when you really know what a team is, right? So maybe they're not there yet. They still got some time, but I don't know, man. Even when I look at them, they look a little, a little iffy over there.
Yeah, they do.
So
There's quite a few teams. Shout out
yeah,
to the Mighty Finesse saying it's past my bedtime. I see you, man. But he keeps bringing up Ingram. Ingram is a bum too, though. Ingram's not a superstar. He's just a regular fringe kind of player. But circle the Pelicans. The Pelicans are a team that seem to be playing pretty shaky right now. They have a lot of young guys that are stepping up, taking up spots. To help out. But Ingram is somebody that might be dangling. Shout out to Zion. He might be dangling too. Zion basically asked for a trade without asking for a trade the other day, right?
yeah,
Oh, I'm trying to
yeah.
fit in. I'm trying to buy in. Like really.
And even with Zion, man, Zion is he's got a lot of talent, but I don't necessarily know if he's a difference maker yet. He hasn't earned that difference maker title yet. He's got to show that he can, like, if Zion goes and takes this Pelicans team like through the regular season, played some really meaningful games, like he's a big part of that, and they make it to the playoffs and he has like a nice playoff showing, then you could start to give Zion the kudos and say, okay, he might be a difference maker. You put him on the right team, we could use him. I can't give him that yet. He's just a good player that hasn't done anything yet. So I would like to see what he can do. He's still a young guy. We'll see what he's got going. But even you look at those guys, those names, I mean, which one of those names is actually going to be available, right? Then you talk about Karl Anthony Towns, who apparently no Knick fan wants. So, like, who is the superstar player you going to get? LeBron? Nope. He's too old. Nobody wants him, right? Anthony Davis? Nope. Too injury prone. Like, who is the superstar guy that the Knicks could actually get? Everybody wants Anthony Edwards. Guess what? Anthony Edwards ain't going nowhere. So that's my whole concern. And that's why I'm like done with the superstar conversation, because there's just nobody available. Who are you going to get? And who do you want? Because there's guys you might want, but you can't get them, or the guys that are available you don't want.
Yeah. Look at the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are 11-4. Why would they trade Karl Anthony Towns right now? They're playing great basketball, 11-4. They're the best team in the West at the moment. It's still early, yes, but I mean they're playing so well. Why would Karl Anthony Towns be on the block right now?
It's facts.
Got to make it make sense a little bit.
I think the Knicks' best option, and I said this was a couple days ago. I think I was thinking about it. I said, you know what? Since there's nobody, all the Knicks can really do is try to go out there and sign a free agent that can fill the needs that they may have. That or if they don't have money, because right now the Knicks can kind of been a little handicapped with the money lately. If they don't have the money, then they need to use whatever draft pick they got in this draft. Maybe if they don't have a pretty high draft pick, maybe they can somehow buy into the draft and trade into the draft and at least get like a top 15 pick. Maybe that top 15 pick is a small forward who's a 3-and-D that fits the need. And we know who Tibbs is. Tibbs is the coach. He don't like to play these young guys, but he will play the top rookies. He will play those guys. He will play the RJs. He will play the OBs to a certain extent. Obi had to earn it because he didn't play defense. But are you telling me, tell you right now, if the Knicks are able to draft a top 15 player who plays defense and can score, Tibbs is playing him.
Yeah, absolutely. You come out there playing the right way. Shout out to Larry Brown. He made that into like a taboo kind of term. But you play like you care. You're playing defense. You're playing hard. You're doing all the right things and stuff like that. The Knicks have a particular style of player. Not style of player, but just a particular traits for human beings that they're looking for. They're looking for family men, guys that really care. Gym rats and that type of stuff, man. So you can go down the line for every player the Knicks have. They're all good people. So if the Knicks can get somebody to fit that bill in the draft and with a little bit of a pulse, absolutely Tom Thibodeau is going to play them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I see Amadi Finesse. He keeps mentioning the Ingram stuff, but is Ingram, does he fit that criteria as being like a good human? The particular player that the Knicks have been trying to get over the years. That's something that we got to think about also. It could be, is Wiggins one of those guys? Is Anunoby one of those guys? We keep mentioning the same players, but like, do they fit the description too? That's something to think about as well.
Yeah, That's a good point. I mean, I think the only thing is like, I mean, out of those three guys, the only real, I don't know, but I just don't know what we would give them that they would want. The realistic person would be Wiggins. I could see the Knicks probably trying to get Wiggins. Maybe Golden State might be willing to part with him. But what would we give Golden State that they would want? I mean, in the past, they've always wanted Mitchell Robinson, and I'm not willing to give them Mitchell Robinson. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
not for Wiggins, not in that
No,
scenario, you know?
no, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough, Ebro. I'm not sure about that, bro.
Yeah.
It's right, and we definitely Anunoby might be just a lost cause. So you can forget about Anunoby.
Yeah, forget about that, man. Because I mean, Toronto will never trade with us ever again, you know?
It's over.
Talk about burning a bridge, man. You burnt the whole border, and they're never doing nothing, no business with us.
That bridge is toasted, man. If anything, if I was the Knicks, I'd be like, you know what? They did what? Okay, hold on to this. I'd be calling Toronto. Listen, we want Anunoby. Let's get this trade going. And then after the trade, if it works, then I'm hitting them with the lawsuit.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not before though. But it's too late now.
Yeah.
Anyway, you got any final thoughts, brother? Or I don't even know. Do you think there was? I know Sim likes to talk about the turning point in the game. Was there anything that you thought was the turning point in the game? Like this is when the Knicks it changed for them. Something clicked.
I think that quickly block shot was pretty big, man.
That quickly
Right?
block shot on Kyle Lowry was huge.
Yeah, because if Kyle Lowry hit that shot, that would have changed the momentum of the game. But him hitting that block shot there, that was key there to hold down that win.
Yeah. No, I think that was a big one. Yeah, I agree. Once again, guys, listen. If you haven't had a chance to, please go check out printjurisdiction.com. There's a collaboration with NBK. It's a new series. It's a new comic book series that they're working on. The first installment here is Jalen Brunson. That's right. You see it, Captain Clutch, living up to his name once again tonight. They've got the fire hoodies. You got all types of colorways, black, cream, the Nick blue, and it's also got different the actual print is either color or it's in black and white. So you got different styles, different looks. That's right. That's printjurisdiction.com. And if you don't want a hoodie, you can also get a t-shirt. They got the t-shirts in the same type of colorways. You got all the same colors, black, white, black, cream, the blue, and they like I said, they have the different, either the color back like this one that you see right here with Jalen Brunson, or you got the black and white back. And it's really dope, man. Definitely get you one while you can, because I don't know how long supplies are going to last. The orders are being generated now. You see that was a different MBK thing that they worked on back in the day, where they did like a caricature of Sim. And they printed that up on a bunch of shirts and stuff back then. So this is the newest installment of their collaboration. They got some edgy stuff on their site too, but pretty cool, pretty pro. You know what I mean? So definitely check it out. And by all means, man, get them while the getting's good. Because like I said, I don't know what the inventory is going to be looking like. They're printing. This is a pre-order phase right now, so they're printing them up and hopefully going to start getting them out to people. You can see the allotment right there. You see the black, the blue, the cream. And then you see on the back, it's got the Brunson with the number 11. On the hoodie, it's got the number 11 on the hood. And then on the front of the hoodie, it's got Brunson written across it. So, it's dope, man. Just good style. Oh, and I forgot, they also have a different colorway for the cream shirt. They've got the all blue Jalen Brunson print. You can see it right there. So you got the cream with the all blue in the front, and then it's got the number 11 in orange on the back, and it says Brunson. So pretty dope. Get them while the getting's good, man. I think one, it's good to support our fellow content creators, and it's always good to support the Podfather for everything he does for us. But it's not hard to support when the items are fire, because this is some fire stuff. So, yeah, man. Definitely, definitely. What's oh, and also once again, guys, the channel has been demonetized. Sim has done a lot for our community. He's helped all of us in the community. MBK Strong, myself, Eru, whether it be Steph, Tony, Josh, International Andy. He's definitely allowed us to be a big part of his platform and grow with him. And he's done a lot for the community. As far as putting together different events, cookouts, Nick games, all these different things, draft parties. It's nice to really support someone who takes the time to do that. And let me tell you something: planning these things takes a lot of work and a lot of time. And he's also come out his pocket in the past up front, just to kind of guarantee certain things to get it going. So please support him when you can. The channel has been demonetized. Hopefully, he'll be able to, apply for remonetization in January at some point with YouTube, but there's no guarantees, man. So, please support the channel through Cash App at nothing nothing but Knicks, or PayPal.me / nothing but Knicks, or / I never quite know what to name that slash. Is that the / or is that the /?
It's the /
It is / Okay.
Yeah, /
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good stuff, man. I love the way you say things. You so eloquently said the things that you say, man. Really appreciate you, man. Me and you have good chemistry, man. I don't want to like step on any toes with Mr. John. John's your guy and stuff like that. But me and you do a good job. When we get together, man. So definitely appreciate hanging out with you.
Hey, man, always, Eru. That's why you listen. I told you before, you still Knick fans, man. You don't know it, but it's there.
I gotta give you a T-shirt or a hat or something, right? Be down with it.
Yes, and please, guys, shout out to Eru once again. If you guys haven't checked out, he's always filled in greatly and helped us out when we do the NBA wrap up on NBK. So, if you haven't checked out some of the great artists we've had and talented people, Eru's been in a lot of those conversations, and he's a student of the hip hop game. So it's always fun to chop it up with him. Thank you once again, my brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no doubt. My channel, to speak on my channel, Die Hard Knicks, podcast, whatever. I tried to do a schedule. I just cannot do it, man. Because just based on how crazy my life is with the kids and my work schedule is just ridiculous, man. So I appreciate everyone that come in and do find the channel and you watch the replays of different things that I do. So I appreciate it, man. I would like to get on a little bit more because I always have something to say about something. So just look out for more content. I'm gonna look to do that interview series again. Getting people in there so I can have some conversations and stuff. But we'll see what happens as time goes on. But thanks for the support. Absolutely. Thank you, Sim, for the opportunity too, man. Because Sim grants us a lot of access, to his channel and stuff. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity too, man. Just thinking about how this started. I just hit up Sim on a humble, asking him about, not even for myself. I was asking for a friend. And he gave me a manifesto of how to break it down. So I'm like, wow. Next thing you know, I'm like in DC hanging out with him, and in Las Vegas not Las Vegas, Atlantic City hanging out with him. Yeah. And hanging out, it's just amazing, man. I'm so glad, not just for the opportunity, but I'm just so glad to just know you guys. It's just really cool, man.
Yeah, man. That's why I say there's no other family like the MBK family, man. It's really dope. Everybody's so cool and welcoming. And, I'm just glad that our road for still Knick fans led through this road, man. It's been great getting to know everybody, and it's so welcoming and also helpful, man, because let me tell you something, this content creation game, it's not for the lighthearted. Sometimes you in it, you're not in it, but you stay the course because it's good to be around good people that know what you're going through and they rock with you. So yeah, man, appreciate
it's a lot
everybody.
of fun too. Halfway through the show, I realized my mic wasn't on. I'm using I was using the camera mic. I'm like, oh my god! So halfway through the show, I remembered to turn my mic on. So
you know what? I didn't even notice, bro. I mean, the conversation wouldn't go, so I couldn't tell.
Yeah, that mic is.
But now I hear it. Now I hear the difference. Obviously.
Yeah, it's like a cloudy kind of sound. So hopefully everybody can hear me. But that has to do with just live streaming. Live streaming is a strong. I mean, it's a weird place, man. To stand in front of this camera because you're doing everything from this standpoint. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Very true. Now I got to figure out what the hell I'm going to talk about for 2 to 3 hours tomorrow.
I feel the same too, man. Like sometimes I come home from work and I don't want to do a podcast, but then something pops into my mind, or somebody might say something annoying, and then it reminds me why I wanted to do the podcast to begin with. And then I'll set the podcast up in 15 minutes, and then next thing you know, I'm live and I'm talking for 2 hours by myself with no guests. So this being a podcaster is funny, man. Like being a content creator is like so funny. But it allows me to release a lot of stuff, man. A lot of energy and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's fun, a lot of fun.
That's why I like to say to people, listen, sometimes you don't see me on certain shows, not because I don't want to be there. I don't want to talk and say everything that I'm going to say when I have to do my show.
That's hard to do, man. Yeah, shout out to shout out to a lot of channels, man. But what was it? The Morning Brew Sports, man. Whenever they go on, I'm always working, so I can never jump on. But
Mhm.
I saw you on the show too, so it's just good to support, man. There's a lot of good people out there, so you just feel compelled to just be there, to talk with them, man. Like-minded
Yeah.
people. That's the reason why I got with this thing, just to meet other Knicks fans and have a great time. And I'm getting everything that I asked for with this experience, man. So it's
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
100%, man. So yeah, and just it's a great experience, and I we all enjoy it. But you guys make it that much better because not only are you loyal, you support, but you guys have good conversations. You add a lot of value to a lot of our channels. I mean, I don't know whose channel doesn't get value from the chat and everything you guys do. So keep doing what you guys do out there, man. Keep smashing that like button, subscribing, supporting. But in the end, we really just want you to show up, to just be here, to rock with us. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Any final words, Ebru?
Yeah, man. Just keep supporting the Knicks, man. I think we're onto something. We're very close, I believe. We've been saying that for a while, but it's to the point now where our guys are we figured some things out, and like we're literally like right on the tip of a breakthrough, I think. So just stick with the Knicks, man. Enjoy the ride, the arguments and the complaining and this, that, and the other. Sometimes you need to let it go. That way you can remember what happened, instead of like years from now. Oh wow, yeah, I remember that. Oh man, but when it happened, you weren't even like aware of it because you're so busy like hyped up about your hangups and stuff like that about certain players, man. But at this juncture right now, I think the Knicks are right there, ready for a breakthrough. So, be prepared for it, man. Get ready because we got to. I think we're onto something right now. Definitely. You know.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that they won this game tonight. I'm telling you, man, it would have been rough going into tomorrow talking about how we lost to Minnesota. Now we lost to Miami, especially
Yeah.
like this. So shout out to the Knicks for being that Jekyll and Hyde team that I know and love.
I was not going to work tomorrow if we lost, man. I would have called out sick immediately, if they didn't win, man. So makes you feel good, good international, not international, national game, able to
Mhm.
pull out this win. So good stuff for the Knicks.
100%, man. Do you have a next show that you? Oh, well, you're gonna do another watch along, right? Sunday.
Yeah, definitely Sunday. Tomorrow I probably won't do anything because it's I'll be working all freaking day. But Sunday I'm off, so I definitely will try to get some stuff out on Sunday. Yeah. Shout out to
Cool.
you too, man. Don't you have a show on Sundays?
No, tomorrow actually.
Okay.
Saturdays. So yeah, guys, if you don't mind and you're free, please feel free to tune into Still Nick Fans Know the Ledge tomorrow at 11:30. We will be covering some Nick stuff. I don't quite know yet. I'm gonna have to work on the topics after this and figure out what we're gonna talk about to make it interesting. There's gonna be some similar conversation, obviously, but we're gonna come at it from a different point of view, different standpoint. So I'm not regurgitating the same stuff over and over.
Right.
But I'll figure it out. I'll rack my brain and be up for another 2 hours trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. But don't worry, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you once again for tuning in. Appreciate you. Let's go, Knicks. Really big victory tonight. It shouldn't have got to that point, but it did. And the Knicks were still able to overcome adversity and get the victory. Really, the Garden was rocking with them orange courts. I'm sure the Knicks fans were loving it because that fourth quarter was fantastic. Makes me want to be there, but it is what it is. Once again, shout out to Sim, the Podfather. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for always being who you are to us and allowing us to hold it down for you today. And hopefully we did you proud, man.
Yeah, I think we did a good job.
Yeah.
Not the toot my own horn, but I think we did a good job.
I'm feeling good about it. All right, man. Well, I guess we'll catch you on the next one. Stay tuned for more MBK content, and obviously support Diehard Knicks Eru's channel, and support Still Knick fans. We're gonna keep coming at you with more and more content. So we appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your night, and I hope to see y'all tomorrow. And Eru will see y'all on Sunday.
Yes, sir. All right, have a good night, guys. Peace.
We out of here.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.